I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and in this video we're going to have a look at Magiccraft, a full price prediction update on this amazing project. Nothing in this video is financial advice, it is for entertainment purposes only. We have done quite a successful run with Magiccraft, but it appears to be slowing down on the chart. If we look at the 3 month, basically since the actual IDO, we got in about here at about, well, the early pump, where it basically took off from, let's say, half a cent all the way to 7 cents, right? I did take profit quite early, but I did make a good, well, $10,000, right, on this initial run. After that, I did make another flip, which I only made $1,500 only, right? Still a really good amount. After that, I have looked at Magiccraft, which is basically after about this period, but it's been about a week and a half since I look at it every day, multiple times a day, but I've not taken action on it. And I will explain you why, what I think about the short, medium term of this project, right? So after the initial pump, where it basically got listed on BitMart, I took my exit before it got listed on BitMart. So I've seen a pattern with microcap coins being listed on exchanges like MEXC, BitMart, Gate.io, and they don't tend to do well in the current market conditions. So whenever a project gets listed, I usually, nowadays, this was the first one actually, try to get out beforehand, and that's what I did. So basically, as soon as it got listed, which I think was about here, it dipped a little bit, then it went up, right? And then it slowly declined. And there were opportunities still to make flips, but I don't want to try and flip too much consistently. But if you would have, let's say, bought here or anywhere in this region, I mean, you could still have an easy 30% gain in a matter of a day, right? Half a day even. Very significant opportunities still there. However, that's not what I did. So basically, I believe I got in here, this region. I got out somewhere here, at least a 10x profit. And then I did take another entry for a quick flip. I can't even remember where that was. But now we need to look at the current situation. So when we zoom in, it was 2.5. It spiked to almost 3.5, which percentage-wise gains, that is really significant, right? So we do not necessarily have to look at the number itself, currently sitting at a 3 cent, about an unconfirmed $10 million market cap, fully diluted 308 million, volume about 1.3 million. So the volume relative to the price, relative to the market cap is still decent, a little bit on the low end, but it's not as hyped. It hasn't made any real runs. However, if we look at this percentage gain, we're talking 30-40%, right? 30-35% gain in literally one day. So there are definitely still good opportunities. However, these opportunities are obviously way higher risk. And that's what I basically want to focus on right now, is the question, what is Magiccraft opportunity for the short medium term, right? If we look at the PooCoin chart, it's still actively traded, right? So every minute, sometimes there's a little break. Here's a 4-minute break, but there's at least decent numbers being pushed through. In terms of trade, there's obviously some bot activity always, but there were some major purchases. So there was one here, there was one here, there's one here, and this is basically all as from last night towards today. A slow upward slope. Well, the easiest thing to do is to put it on a 15-minute chart, and you do see the downward trend, right? So it came from that spike slightly maybe even created by me, but obviously also the centralized exchange announcement. So I think the videos I released were basically responsible for that slight pump, and this was maybe the exchange announcement, right, which really pulled it up, which obviously new exchanges are always exciting, which we need to take into consideration, because if we look at the Magiccraft roadmap, I am still interested in the opportunity, but I will tell you my exact strategy in this video on how I want to approach it, because I'm not going to take another entry before the next exchange hype is announced. So they have a lot of shillers, basically, right? Influencers, YouTube people, Instagram, Twitter guys that can reach a far and wide audience. Now, before they have mentioned in the white paper, which have now been adjusted if you watch my previous videos, that, let me play the video for anybody not familiar with Magiccraft because it's quite cool, that they were going to list on BitMart and Bybit and KuCoin. I think it was Bybit and KuCoin. Bybit specifically because the Moon Call lists all of his projects on Bybit. It must be owned by one of his buddies, right? And that's how these influencers, these calls work together, which makes sense, right? It's business. Now, KuCoin, obviously, even Bybit would be huge. BitMart was very disappointing as of an exchange. It's the same quality as MEXC. They're just listing almost all projects. MEXC, Gate.io. So that's basically the game. These exchanges, they list a lot of projects, right? So the price impact will not be that huge. So they have BitMart, which is responsible for less volume than PancakeSwap. MEXC almost has no volume. And you can therefore tell that these exchanges are not really that great. Bybit, however, if we compare this to the Casta project, which was also by the Moon Call, I believe does have some decent volume. So MEXC 185, Bybit 4.7 million, right? Really significant in terms of how much traction it has or could have when this gets listed on Bybit and or KuCoin, right? KuCoin would even be better as an opportunity because KuCoin is a top 5, 1.8 billion in volume, and Bybit it has 1/10 of that, 175 million, still ranking on number 12. So really good in my opinion, right? Gate is also here, but it just has so many projects, right? Gate.io. MEXC is somewhere down here, but the confidence score is already a lot less. It has quite some volume, but also hundreds of projects that they list. Just a different business strategy. So for Magiccraft, I think the next big thing are either in-game announcements that move the price significantly, like NFTs purchasable with a token, or any exchange listing. One thing we have to take into consideration, which I think is extremely important, is the vesting release. So the IDO was 100% TGE, which is great because those tokens are already in circulation. The private is a 3-month lockup, and then so a 3-month cliff, and then 12 months linear vesting, which means that there will be a large amount of tokens of people that participated in the private round, which have gotten a current return of an 8x with an all-time high of 21x, which basically means that in that situation, they're going to take profit. That's what I'm going to assume. In my opinion, if I were them, I would do the same thing. So the 3-month lockup of the actual IDO, the question is, when did this get listed? Ish, right? So about the 21st, right? The 18th, 21st. So basically before the 18th, so we have the first month would be January, February, March. Before the 18th of March, you need to get out of this project because that day would be a significant dump according to the actual private sale investors. That's what I expect to happen. It will create volatility. You can buy the dip on this day, obviously, in my opinion. If I would want to get in, that would be a smart move to make. When we would look at the actual overview at it is right now, it also makes sense that they would list a tier 1 exchange like Bybit in February and then KuCoin at the end of March to bridge the time that the game needs to be developed and keep the hype going, right? So Bybit will get traction on the price, and then KuCoin, basically they can maneuver this. So as soon as the 18th the price gets wrecked, then example the 24th of March they list KuCoin, which is still in the first quarter. These guys, this is not their first rodeo, right? They have a big team of advisors. There's quite a big team in general. They have launched many projects before, so they know what they're doing. And I assume this way they will also, it's just my opinion, just my thoughts, they will structure this process, right? All in all, I'm quite bullish on Magiccraft still, just because I like the idea that it's by influencers basically. And in addition to that, I don't follow any of these influencers per se, because I don't like their content. But I do like the idea of the Magiccraft game, what it looks like, and what they have presented so far, right? So it's definitely a little bit higher quality from what we've seen before. It's quite, I don't want to say unique, but it does look really good, and I like this style, medieval battle style, right, with archers and stuff. Just a personal preference. When it comes down to the price, the most important thing. So as I said, game updates, major NFT, if they use the Magiccraft token, that will have influx on the price. Other than that, listings and the IDO. So the listing on the tier 1 exchange you need to keep into consideration, in my opinion, and the IDO vesting for the private sale that's being released. So we need to go and head over to Discord and read the announcements, basically. What have they announced in the last couple of days? They are extremely active, which is great. All right. Timote, I don't know who the fuck that is, but he has 2.3 million followers on TikTok, and he joined Magiccraft as a call, so he will promote it, and we hope his army will bring us Project to the Moon. Okay, they did an AMA. That's nice. They did an AMA with the founder for some lucky winners. A Gleam competition where you can win tokens. Okay, this was the MEXC announcement. It basically did nothing with the price, and there's also no volume, right? They did an NFT design contest, which was quite cool. So they do keep the actual community engaged. Anything like Yahoo Finance will not influence the price, because if you know business, or at least any type of press release, you can just buy them, right? There's nothing special. Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, Forbes, you just need to pay money and they will list your article, right? That's their business model, part of the business model, right? Thank you, Bloomberg, for listing us. And everybody who doesn't know business, which is okay, which is fine. It also says here, press release. They will think that, oh my God, they got listed, Bloomberg picked them up. Bloomberg didn't pick them up. They paid for that article to get exposure, which makes sense, right? It's normal business practice. But this is basically the most important one I want to focus on. It's also the latest announcement, which was posted yesterday. The NFT marketplace is complete, but it's being upgraded to be epic and will be released soon. Staking coming soon, MVP in production, gaming will design. So basically, I am most interested in staking, because as soon as the staking, in terms of one-sided staking, not single asset, not liquidity pools, but the staking itself becomes available, this will have a direct impact on the price. You can easily see 10-20% movement on a microcap coin if this is released. So make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I will make the update as soon as that is available. Then when it comes down to the NFT marketplace, if they're going to sell NFTs, which they will, I assume the team is smart enough to accept only the Magiccraft token, which will do a rapid value increase. I'm estimating 25-30% in 1 hour as soon as that is announced. So basically, I'm quite bullish on Magiccraft still. I will keep my eye on it. As I said, I check it 2 to 3 times a day, not because I'm paranoid, but because I know the easy opportunities there. When staking is coming out, I'll make my entry, but I will wait for the announcement. So normally you want to be there before the announcement, right? Before the initial spike. So I made the video here, right? And I was there before the spike. But even if you got in here, you would still be good for that leg up, right? It's obviously less profit, but also less risk. And that's what I'm trying to focus on with my next move for Magiccraft, as we've seen a quite linear downward trend. Right now it's basically stabilizing. I'm not looking to be ahead of the curve this time. I will wait for the announcement, I will make my entry, and I'm not looking for another 10x, I'm looking for a 2x, a 3x. That is more than fine. Even if I would only make a 30% gain, because I'll probably push in $10,000 again, like I've did before twice. One time I put in a 1,000 and then made 10,000, and then I put in the 1,000 again and made an additional 1,500. So overall, we made about $10,500 profit so far on trading Magiccraft, flipping it in the short term. Do I think this has long-term potential? Yes, but I don't really want to focus on it yet until the private sale has been released and we see some stabilization there. So I will be not ahead of the curve this time. I will make another entry on the major announcements. And if you want to know when I make those entries, I do mention them in my Discord. So check the link in the description, join that if you want to stay up to date. And this is basically the 4 major points where I see the Magiccraft price trend in an upward linear spike. Staking, NFT marketplace minting with Magiccraft tokens, the NFTs, and or utility of the actual token, tier 1 exchange, and obviously their advisory shield crew promoting the project once it hits a tier 1 Bybit or KuCoin, which they have mentioned in the past, which is not confirmed. It's just a guess from my end, which will easily bring it back to the all-time high, if not higher at that point. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I hope so that you are excited as well about Magiccraft. If you are, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.